Kudos to you. Congratulations. Clap for yourselves. Alright, so we are trying to set up that, and I know this time we're going to continue. With that, we need to call in like 3 people from University of Cambridge. So the problem is that you will be able to see them being projected here, but they can't see you. So we're trying to see if it's possible to make them see you, so that when you're interacting with them, you know, they will not feel them flow with it. So, but before then, I will just move on and try to introduce in program what we are doing while you are here, and what you are expected to move out of this auditorium with at the end of this program. As a way of formal introduction, my name is Nsukka. I'm a graduate of pure industrial chemistry here in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So I'm a super lion. And upon graduation, I was employed as a graduate assistant in the Department of Chemistry. And then I started my master's. In fact, that was where I did my undergraduate project in Japan before I came back here, graduated, and then proceeded to my NYC and all that. However, upon completion of my master's in Japan, I had another wonderful opportunity to be sponsored fully at Cambridge to undertake my PhD program. And so I had to abandon the scholarship I have for my PhD in Japan and then run out again to Cambridge. And it's a decision I'm not regretting. It's a decision I'm very happy with. It's a decision I continue to give God the glory that I made such a decision to leave Japan for Cambridge. So usually, the scholarship I have is such that you wouldn't have any difficulties carrying out your normal academic life in Cambridge. So which is why I usually choose to describe the scholarship as a generous scholarship. Cambridge is a university where if it's without the scholarship, it's just meant for the rich. Because annually, for instance, my funding body spends not less than £40,000. That is like 20 million naira annually. So, because I've got like 3 years sponsorship, so that means we're talking about doing your PhD with over 60 million naira. So it's a generous funding. Okay? And the only way I can repay for this opportunity, right from my undergrad through my master's to my PhD, is to give back to the community where I came from. And that is the reason we are having this program here today. So I decided that there are people here who might not have the opportunity, who might not have the right information, who might not know what to do, who might not even have to dream. I have a very humble beginning, but in my secondary school, in fact in my SS3, I never had the dream of going to the university. I never knew I could go to the university. And that is because of the financial aspect. Because I was sure my parents cannot afford university education in Nigeria. But today, I'm in one of the most expensive universities, one of the top best universities in the world, studying for free. So the least I could do is to avail this kind of information for those who might need it as well, which is why I'm here today. So, I don't know if you can see the next slide so that we can look at the program of the event. But if you look at the poster, okay, that's the program. So the first thing we are supposed to do is the introduction, which I'm trying to give right now. And then the next is supposed to be a Cambridge Trust presentation, which I'm going to make using a slide. After that, we'll have guest speakers from Cambridge, Monica and Sue, speaking to you, interacting with you, telling you about the scholarship opportunities that we have in Cambridge. So, when I was discussing with the DVC about this program, he was like, it's not going to be useful in UNM. Why did he say that? Because he was thinking, I'm trying to just project Cambridge so that students here can begin to apply and go there to pay school fees. So he wasn't seeing the feasibility of someone coming from UNM to be able to pay over 40,000 pounds per annum to study in Cambridge. Okay, until I told him that I am not asking students to come pay. I'm trying to tell students how to access scholarships that are there. So the program today is giving you information and materials and whatever you will need to access those scholarships abroad. Okay. So from there, in Cambridge we have like 3 broad categories of funding. The first is the Gates Cambridge, which is funded by Bill Gates. And the second is the one we call Cambridge Africa Scholarship Program, which is meant only for Africans to come to Cambridge and study for their PhD. And then the last, but not the least, is the Cambridge Trust, which houses more than 100 funding partners. So currently it has over 1,200 students in Cambridge that they are funding. Luckily for me, I don't know how to say that, my PhD is actually being funded by 3 different partners. The Cambridge Africa, Cambridge Trust, and then IDB. So I actually have 3 of those scholarships to study in Cambridge. So you are going to be listening to somebody from one of those broad categories of Cambridge scholarships, which is the Cambridge Trust. Actually, development manager will be speaking to you today. And then we are also going to be listening to the director of Gates Cambridge Scholarship, which is Jim Smith. He's going to be speaking to you today as well. Gates Cambridge, who will also be speaking to you about both the application process and much more. And then, as a way of giving back to the community, I started a foundation which is called the Africa of Our Dream Foundation, with 4 broad goals. The first is youth empowerment, the second is women empowerment, the third is access to quality education, which is part of the things we are doing today, and then the fourth is access to quality health care. So later on we are going to be looking at that and seeing what there is for you in Africa of Our Dream towards actualizing your career, your academic future, and the rest of them. So first I'm going to start with the Cambridge Trust presentation. You might not have this opportunity to ask the questions you would want to ask. So please, even if you are the type that have stage fright and like asking questions in classrooms, this is not a classroom. Feel free to ask your question, because if you say you want to wait after the program, so you start talking to me, trust me, a whole lot of people also want to do the same thing you want to do. And I'm just one person. So trying to answer such questions one after the other. Mr. A might ask me, I will answer. Mr. B will come back and repeat. repeat the same question. So, but if you ask here and I answer, everybody will learn from it. Okay, so I want to now use this opportunity to welcome you visually to Cambridge, to the University of Cambridge, which happens to be currently, by the time higher education ranking, the second best university in the world after University of Oxford. And I thought that it might be useful to offer this presentation in order to assist you to apply for your postgraduate, even undergraduate in Cambridge. So I aim to give you information about Cambridge and its university, and specifically about when and how to apply for your postgraduate studies in Cambridge. And as I'm talking to you right now, the application portal just opened on the 3rd of September. Today is 14, that's like 11 days ago. And usually there are different application deadlines depending on your department. So this is the right time to get the right information and then swing into action while those information are still fresh in your memory. So I'll be telling you more about the university and the role of the various trusts that I have mentioned and every other thing that you need to know about it. Next slide, please. So yeah, welcome to Cambridge. Let us start by sharing with you an impression of the University of Cambridge. So of course, when you go there, it's just a typical university community. You see some buildings that still look as if they are ancient buildings, but they are solid. They are just traditional buildings that makes Cambridge what it is. You still see the small tree where Isaac Newton did his experiments, the people that talked about gravity and all that. You see those monuments here and there. It's a beautiful place to be. It's a nice city, although the weather could be weird at times. Next slide, please. So the first thing is that, of course, every university has its mission statement, the vision, its motto and everything. So for University of Cambridge, its mission is to contribute to the society through the pursuit of education learning, and then the research, of course, at the highest international level of excellence. So the university is over 800 years today. So you can imagine, founded in 1206, even older than my great-great-great-great-grandfathers. Okay? So it has always retained that tradition of being one of the world-leading universities. And there you have a whole lot of things that they pride themselves with in terms of lecturer-student relationship, learning, name it, what have you. It's an excellent place to be. It's a place where you see other people and you are encouraged to do what you've considered in the past as impossible. So, if you have a dream of being in Cambridge, I want to tell you that it's the beginning of greater things to happen in your life. Next slide, please. So what is it like to be a student of Cambridge University? The university runs a collegiate system whereby you have the larger body of the university and then you have 31 colleges. My college, of course, is Wolfson College, which happens to be a graduate college and a mature college. So, by being a mature college and a graduate college, it means that if you are an undergraduate, you must have been 21 years old at the time of your admission into the university. If you are less than 21 years, you cannot be in my college as an undergraduate. But irrespective of your years, you can always be there as a postgraduate. So what it means that there is nobody in Wolfson College that is less than 21 years. And that gives it a whole sense of maturity, a whole sense of pastoral care, and what have you. Of course, you have other beautiful colleges. And the colleges system that we have in Cambridge made it possible for you to have a one-on-one tutoring system whereby each student, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, is assigned to a particular tutor who will always interact with you to keep track of your academic progress and your pastoral life. So they give you this maximum attention, just the same way a parent would care for a child. So it's a nice place to be. And we have over 18,000 students spread across 150 departments in the schools and, of course, institutions that you've added. So about 40% of the total 18,000 are postgraduates. And more of these postgraduate students are as well PhD students. Next slide, please. So like I said, the university has 31 colleges through the colleges system that we've done. So of course I can start listing them, but you can see clearly, you can see that I've tried to list all of them from Christ College, Churchill, Clare, all the way to Wolfson. So usually when I was applying, I didn't try to understand the concept of the college. Because when you mention college, the only thing that comes to my mind is a secondary school. So I was like, what will I be doing there? You know, that kind of thing. But then when I came in, I understood what the college actually meant. So it's not a secondary school thing. It's part of the university, but the colleges are independent of themselves and the university. The university cannot force the college to do one thing or the other. And another unique thing about Cambridge is that you have a bottom-up approach to decision-making. The Vice-Chancellor cannot mandate a professor or a lecturer in a department to do one or two things. It's just the reverse of what we have here in UNN. So here we have a top-down method of decision-making. The people at the top makes a decision and push it down. The people at the down at the bottom obey it. But over there, the people at the bottom makes the decision. Push it up, and then the people at the top rectifies and it becomes law. It's actually part of the reason why sometimes it takes a very long time to get things going in Cambridge. But however, it's actually been a very effective way of getting everybody to say their mind and make sure that the democratic setting which the university has assumed since inception works perfectly well for its administration. So in Cambridge, you cannot be admitted in Cambridge without being a member of one of these 31 colleges, so it's a must. You cannot do your master's or your PhD or your undergrad in Cambridge without being a member of the colleges. If for any reason your department gives you an admission as a postgraduate, that admission will remain static until a college accepts you. However, I've never heard of you having admission and not being able to find a particular college. The only thing that might happen is that the colleges you selected during your application might not actually be the ones you finally get when you are granted admission. Again, the admission processes you have for undergrad is being managed by the colleges. So the college will have to call you if you have applied and you have been selected to come to Cambridge. They will call you and then interview you. You go through the interview process. They admit who they want, who they think have made whatever they want. So for undergrad, usually apart from your O level, which is the one they call GCE something, you have to write the A-level exam. And for you to enter Cambridge, you need 2 A stars and 1 A. Thereabout. So you can't use even your JAMB or your O level to get to Cambridge as an undergrad. If you want to go there, you need to sit for the A level exam. Okay. But for the postgrad, all you just need is your undergrad qualification, your credentials, and other things which we're going to talk about later on. Next slide, please. Okay, now, that's just a brief about Cambridge. Let's now talk about Cambridge Trust, one of the biggest funding body that we have at the University of Cambridge. So the trust actually was established 28 years ago in 1980s as a charity with the sole purpose of giving financial support to students on degree courses at the University of Cambridge. So right now, it partners with a whole lot of funding bodies to get money in order to help students who are brilliant, but due to financial constraint, will not be able to come to Cambridge. So it works with, I've said that before, more than 100 international partners, and then you have those in the UK as well, who try to support what we are doing in order to make sure that people who were supposed to have that opportunity, but due to financial constraint, will not be able to do that, actually comes to Cambridge. Next slide, please. So the question is, how do you apply for a Cambridge Trust scholarship? How do you go about being qualified or being considered in the first place as a Cambridge Trust scholar in the first place? So, you do not require a separate application. That is the beauty of it. You do not require a separate application for the trust to consider you for scholarship. All you need to do is to apply for admission at the University of Cambridge. Once you are offered admission by the university to study the master's or your PhD program, the next thing that happens is that you will be considered for those scholarships, provided you've selected in one, because there's going to be an option where you'll be asked, do you want to be considered for the university-wide scholarship? So you need to tick that option, yes. If you don't tick the option, they will assume that you've got the money you are bringing home. The time they like, they want you. Okay? So if you make the mistake of not ticking that, and then you submit the application, if the only way you can go to Cambridge is by scholarship, forget the application. Alright? Unless, because the second one, which is the GATE scholarship, also has its own different tick, where you ask if you want to be considered for GATE, you should tick that. So if you tick that, you'll not be considered for the higher scholarship that you have. You only be considered for GATE, which is, of course, very, very competitive. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the admission, the application process. Because despite the fact that I said you don't need a separate application for Cambridge Trust Scholarship, you need to prepare your admission application to be able to be selected for the Cambridge Trust Scholarship. Because they won't tell you that, okay, now you have admission, we want you to now reapply for the trust fund. No. They will use the same application that you submitted for your admission to judge if you are qualified for the Cambridge Trust Scholarship. Next slide. Okay, could I be offered a place on a postgraduate course at Cambridge? The answer is yes. But the thing you need to do is to move into the website. Sometimes, but yesterday, someone called me and told me that he visited chemistry department website, and the only thing he saw there was medicinal chemistry. This is serious. So it could be very, very challenging to actually figure out your way around the website when you visit them. But one thing I need to emphasize on is this. Here, for instance, chemistry department is known as pure and industrial chemistry. If you want to do anything in chemistry, don't go to Cambridge websites and start looking for pure and industrial chemistry. They mustn't call it pure industrial chemistry. It's simply called chemistry department. So you wouldn't say, okay, you want to do industrial chemistry, and what you're seeing there is chemistry, and so this one is even a lighter illustration. If you go into pharmacy and all this, where you begin to talk about pharmacology and all that, there is where you begin to see some discrepancy that what you want to do, you won't see the real name there, we are going to see something else. So when you want to select your supervisor, the most important thing is what project do you want to do? Look for who is interested in your project. The person might not be in the department you are thinking you want to apply for. He might be in a different department. But because he's doing the project you want, that is the place you should be looking for, especially those in PhD. Okay, so you have to be very careful about that. Yes, you offer a place if you meet the requirements. We are going to be talking about the requirements. Because usually when you submit your application for Gates, Cambridge, the university will rank all the applications they have received and select the 5 best and send it to Gates, Cambridge scholarship team. From the 5 best, okay, is make more selection. You have over 6,000 people struggling for just 90 slots. That is for the Gates. But one beauty about scholarship in Cambridge is that it's difficult for you to get 2 scholarships at the same time. I told you I have 3 funded partners, but I was not allowed to make use of their full funding. So what they did, they said, okay, if I insist that I want to, being identified as a scholar of this funding body, this funding body, they will have to distribute the amounts they pay within among themselves. So that instead of one person paying £40,000, this person pays 20, this person pays 10, and this person pays 10. But the prestige is just that you have 3 funding partners, but you still receive the same amount that every other person receives. So the reason they are doing this is to make sure they get more people to have the opportunity to come study. So the one that they have now cut off from those 3 funding bodies will not be used to sponsor a new student, which is fine. Okay? So, next slide, please. How do I apply? Okay, this is going wrongly. One of the setbacks for students applying for scholarships or even for admission is language test. You've been asked to get your TOEFL score. Someone told me today that he's trying to prepare for a GRE. All these international exams, sometimes they could be frustrating. Sometimes you write TOEFL and you don't get the particular score that the university requires for you to enter the university. It becomes a problem. But in Cambridge, and you as a Nigerian, you have a way around that. Because a whole lot of people have always been telling me that I don't have English language tests and all that through secondary to tertiary education. So because of that, I believe that you have the English language skill that is going to make you run your postgraduate studies at Cambridge. So there will be an option during your application that if you think you do not require this language test, that you should apply for a waiver. So even the document for the waiver is also there, you just download it and fill the reason why you think you do not require the language test. And it's very simple. You tell them because English is the medium of learning in Nigeria, from primary to tertiary, and you studied in Nigeria. You've been using English all through this process. So the only thing, of course, someone who has never been taught in English can also make this argument. There is no way to find out who is saying the truth. So the only thing they will do is that the language school in Cambridge is not going to interview you, give you 1 or 2 minor exams, comprehension exercise to teach you, test your grammar, then some audio recording that you're listening to, and they ask you questions about what you've heard. And then after that, they give you a Skype call or a telephone call, converse with you. The conversation, they're not looking at what you are saying, like whether you are saying what you're saying is making sense or not. They just want to make sure that you are fluent with the English. So they might just ask you, why do you want to come to Cambridge when they call you? If that was what they asked me. They're not interested to know whether I'm giving a good reason for coming to Cambridge. When I say I want to come to Cambridge to dance, they don't care. They just want to make sure that I was able to put that grammar together to say, I want to come to Cambridge to dance. Okay. So that is what is most important. So please, if you are, for other schools, I have a friend who just got admission at Imperial College. He was not allowed for this waiver. In fact, he has to write the English language test like twice, and that's got my heart. The last one, he made it. The first one, he didn't make it up to the threshold, but the second one, he made it. Okay, so English language test, I know it can be challenging. So if you're one of those people who think that this could be an obstacle for you, there's a way around it. But then, you need to prove to them when they want to now test that, yeah, it's actually not a problem for you. Next slide, please. So how do I apply? It's very simple. Later on, what I want you to do now is to listen and understand what I'm saying. Later I'm going to convert this slide to a PDF file and send it. You have written your attendance. If you have not signed up in the attendance, make sure you do with your email address. So we are going to, later it's going to come to you. I will send every soft copies of the documents I think that are going to help you. I will send it to those email. Okay, so it's not going to be a problem. So just listen carefully and make sure you understand what we are saying. Alright? So when I send you that, you're going to see the website. That's where, irrespective of your department, you have to go there and start your application process. Before now, the application process, the application fee used to be £50. But just, we try to see how we can speak with the university to do something about that. They wanted to increase it to somewhere in the vicinity of £75 or something like that. But the graduate union intervened, and this is a university where when they want to do something, they invite both the students, government, and then tell them what they want to do and the rest of it. Okay, so we're able to dialogue, and at the end, they brought it down to £60. So what it means that you need £60 to apply for that. Personally, I happen to be the international student president in Cambridge, and one of the things I was trying to push for is access to the minority groups we have in Cambridge, giving the blacks more opportunity to come to Cambridge, and as well those from South America. And I was mentioning that the application fee could be an obstacle, because when I convert £60 to Nigerian currency, that is in the vicinity of 30,000. So minimum wage here is around 18,000. So that means that if you are working and living on your minimum wage, you need to save for 2 months. Of course, you cannot just get the 2 salary and not eat for 2 months. So what means it might take you 3 or 4 months or even 6 months to save that kind of money. Okay, we had that argument, and they were not convinced what I was saying, because they have some countries that were listed as low-income countries. But Nigeria is not one of them. So I was trying to explain to them that Nigeria is not one of them because you guys are looking at the total money in Nigeria. Those big money we are seeing is in hands of very few. The main people who needs this, who needs to come here, don't have this money. We are still having that debate, and I hope that it's not as if I'm praying for us to be classed as low-income countries. But the truth is that most of us are living in a low-income country, thousands of naira, when we don't have it. Okay, so it's something we're going to continue. At the end of this program, there will be a feedback form that we are going to give to you. I have got like 15 questions. I know it might be tiring to fill them out, but I want you to know that what you feel in that form is going to affect a whole lot of decisions that will be made in Cambridge when I return to Cambridge. So it's anonymous. Your name is not going to be written there. So nobody is going to know where it's coming from. Just the way it applies to you, I want you to fill that form the way it applies to you. There is a place I say other remarks. If there is any other thing I didn't ask in other questions that you feel you want to talk about, at the other remarks, fill them in there. Don't worry. There are people that will read each and every comment that you make there. Nobody's throwing them off. So it's very, very important that please, no matter how tiring it is, try to fill that form for me, please. So I've said this before that once you apply, of course, you always be considered for all that. So what do you need when you are making your application? This is where you have a very big problem. You need a research proposal if you are going for a PhD. I don't think master students requires that. You need your transcript. If you're a master student, you need your undergrad transcript. If you are going for a PhD, you need both undergrad and master's transcript. However, if you are just in your final year and you don't have your transcript, you are allowed to submit your application and upload the supporting documents later on. Even if you don't have the full transcript, it's just that I still understand the way things are done in UNA, for instance, where it's difficult for you to get parts of your transcript. If even the full transcript, if Senate has not sat on it, it's difficult for you to get that. I understand, but just have in mind that I'm trying to discuss with the present administration, the DVC Academy. He's someone that listens to me, and we try to dialogue to see how some of these obstacles we can surmount them. Because it's necessary that when you get your students out there, you don't make life difficult for them. Okay, I guess they are trying to call in the Cambridge guys to join. So hopefully they join us. Yeah, so then, apart from the transcript issue, two important things that you must make sure they are perfect are the referees, the people that write your referees. It's not even the person who is writing it, but what the person is writing. You see all this referee where people say, I am writing on request of Obi Ikejoba, who has requested me to write a reference. Those things are different. You won't be writing the reference if you are not requested to write it. So I don't know how to, I know it's not your fault because you're not the one writing it. Okay, but try to tell the person the kind of things that should come in. Like for instance, for the kids Cambridge, if you go on their website, they try to tell you what they want in a candidate. So when your referee is writing, your referee should be able to make specific examples how you demonstrate those qualities. It's not enough to say he graduated top 5 in the class. He has a good leadership quality. The person should be able to say how you've demonstrated those leadership qualities. That is the most important thing. Because this is what your reference has a whole lot of weight. And then your personal statement. Your personal statement is something that sometimes people tend to hide a whole lot of information and they don't want to bring it in. No. Let me tell you, if there are problems in your life, personal problems, that otherwise would have made you not to attend university, that otherwise would have made you become a useless person, that you were able to surmount and then still scale through to get to where you are today. Those are the things they want to see in those personal statements. Because you'll be getting a scholarship for free to study, they want to make sure that you are going to affect lives after your studies. So you have to prove how you've affected life in the past and your passion and commitment to continue doing that in the future. So hopefully Jim Smith is going to highlight more on that. Next slide, please. And then, of course, it's just a screenshot of the application portal where you have to register with your email, you select a password, and the rest of it. Next slide. Yeah, this will fill your personal details and all that after you've registered. Next slide. Okay, I think that's the end actually of this presentation for that.
I'm required to write a 500-word essay, and then why you are an ideal candidate. And I will explain a little bit more of what I mean by ideal candidate. I am sure that if you have heard about the scholarship before or visited the site, you would have seen that there are criteria that is required in an ideal candidate. And the 4 criteria would be your academic excellence, ability to lead, commitment to improving the lives of others, and a good fit in for the academic aspect, versus that first you live to the university and there's parts that you oblige to do all of the applicants. Now applicants are around 8. So I think the most thing that you have to make sure that you for you to be a successful candidate, you need to have a good academic record. So that would be a track record of academics throughout your time. And also strengthen your application in terms of the academic by having very good references. So you have to provide 2 references. And I would advise you to choose these people carefully. You want to choose persons who can vouch for you and who can attest to the fact that you are an excellent student. If you were to get accepted in Cambridge, you would be able to perform well. So I think that is very important that you pick your academic references or your references in general carefully, and then explain to them what is the criteria for an ideal candidate, because they're not going to show you the reference and right, but you can give them an idea as to what they're looking for. Once you're ranked by the department based on your academics, then at this stage, that is when your application gets seen by you. So it would not see the applications of everyone who applied to the university. They will only look at the they mainly look at the applicants that are highly ranked. And again, as I said, the rank is based on your applicant. Alternatively, you can also demonstrate that in your essay in terms of your future plans, in terms of what you intend to do in the future if you were to get your degree in Cambridge, how your degree would benefit the community that you come from. Your commitment to improving the life of the mentorship by own contribution to society in organizing mentorship programs for career students. So it doesn't necessarily have to be graduated. However it can. So in case if you want to, say for example, study medicine, you can communicate.
So my question is the debt aspect of scholarship, is it fully funded? And if yes, does it cover the cost of feeding there, housing,
You get a stipend that goes towards your food, your rent, expenses that you have. So it is a fully funded thing.
Okay, I would also include that if you are married and you have 2 kids, Gates will also have some money for your kids, at least for your first and your second child.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also give you funding for going to conferences. So I had £1,500 that I could use for going to conferences, and if you have like a hardship, there's a hardship fund that you can apply to, and they also give you a yearly allowance.
Is there any other question?
Yes.
Okay, just one, the final one, please.
Okay, you told us about its benefits. Then what about the Cambridge Trust Fund? Like, what are the benefits there?
Alright, so do you have a final word for the student before you go?
Final words. If you're thinking of applying, apply. Yes, a lot of people they turn off the idea of applying because they feel like, oh my God, so many people are going to apply for this and so many new scholarships to give. If you think about applying.
Sorry, I didn't tell you the words of her Cambridge Trust scholarship. So, but like I told you from the beginning, each of these scholarships we are talking about are fully funded. No, why I'm saying this is, part of the discussion we are always having, it will look as if we are coming here to talk about scholarships because we want you to run out of the country. No, don't get me wrong. That's not the point. But when people complain that people who are going outside are not coming back, the question you ask yourself is, what do you have back home that is going to motivate these people to come back home? There is nothing. So just imagine that, okay, let me say that you're a lecturer in UNN and every month you earn 500,000 naira. No, let me say, it's an assumption. Okay, that means in a year you are getting 6 million, alright, as a lecturer. But in Cambridge, as a PhD student, under Gates scholarship, per annum, if you are just on your own, you are not married, you are getting over 8 million naira. Then if you are married, your money is going towards 20 million. Wow. Now, when you are done, and you look back home, What kind of demotion is that? Just you move from top to, just like running for president, just like tomorrow, you hear that Obasanjo is running for State House of Assembly. Making some kind of effort to make things back home better, and even at the end of his program, come back home. Know that the person has passion to change things and turn things around. However, if such a person comes back and decides to remain exactly the same way that other people back home are, or the way he was before he left, to me, I think it's useless. So this is the reason this scholarship body usually follow a very rigid process in making their selection. And both of us applied to Cambridge. I gained admission, you gained admission, and probably we were ranked as one of the best in the department and were submitted for Gates Scholarship. There is every tendency that at the end, I, who make first class, will not get a scholarship. But you, who's made 2-1, will get a scholarship. Why? That is because they are not considering only your academic qualification. They want to look at how you've affected life in the past, your leadership quality. What leadership position have you held as a student? What did you do with it? It's not enough to say you were once an SCG president, but it's enough to say that when you were an SCG president, these were the things you did. And from what you've done, those practical examples, then they'll say, yeah, this is someone who can affect life. So you score a greater point there. But for me, who had made first class during my student life undergrad, the only thing I know is my book, a triangular student who moves from church to the library to my house. There is no other thing to back up what I've done. What they're going to look at is, if this guy had involved in these social projects and then was still able to make first 2-1, there's a possibility that if he decides not to do any of that thing and concentrate on his book, he's even going to have a higher GP than this other person who's made first class. They want you to impart lives. They don't want to waste all this money because, it's a chain reaction. In chemistry, we want to cause a reaction to commence at this point and then propagate. If you are a radical that has the potential of terminating the chain reaction, we don't want to have you at the middle. So that is what we are trying to avoid. We don't want to have someone who is going to terminate the chain reaction we've initiated. We want it to propagate. But if you look at the Nigerian cycle, you realize that when you talk about volunteering, it's like alien to our culture. Okay, even though recently I think it's coming up, but students usually don't have the opportunity to volunteer, to do whatever. So this is the reason I have tried to bring up something that if you want, and you want to prepare yourself for the future, if you want a platform where you can gain some experience and have the opportunity to affect life as a volunteer, as a facilitator, then you can come on board Africa for Our Dream Initiative. The foundation needs volunteers, facilitators who could help to carry out most of the projects that it should be executing. The foundation is not asking you to bring money to them. No. It's not asking you to spend your own money. If there is any project that will be executed, we are going to source for fund for it. But we need the human power on ground to execute them. If you want to go to a particular secondary school to talk to them, give some seminar, do some stuff, we need the human power on ground to do those things. Even the transportation will be taken care of. Every other thing, the only thing you need to do as a volunteer is just to make yourself available to help execute some of these projects. You don't spend a dime for it. That is that. However, if you think with respect to having some financial buoyancy, you want to give donations, there are still ways of doing that. You can also do that. And some other things. If you want to also involve yourself in a higher capacity, you can become a member as a facilitator. So what it means that if there is a project, you will be the one to facilitate it. You will be the one to look at the proposal, draft maybe initial proposal, submit to the trustees, they look at it and say, okay, we're going to execute this project. Then you will be the person that will be the point of contact who now work with the volunteers to execute those projects. And as a volunteer and facilitator, you become an ambassador of the foundation. So you have a kind of membership card. So you can use all those things to boost your applications, boost your CV, what you've done, how you've affected lives in the past and all that. So I'm not only bringing to you this opportunity, but I'm bringing you other things that will help you prepare yourself ahead of time. Although Jerry has run a presentation like her experience as a PhD student. In fact, she just submitted that thesis like 3 days ago. Okay, she's in chemistry in the same, this is my office and this is her office over there in Cambridge. Okay, so she just finished her PhD. What? I forgive you. Well, as a PhD student, you have your office. It's like a contract. Like, you come to work in the morning at 8, you leave at 4 or 5, wherever. But every day you must come to work. So, sometimes when I want to go to the department, I don't even say I'm going to work. Yeah, it's work. It's not like here where you choose when you go and you choose when you don't go. In fact, even when you go, where will you stay? You go to PG class. And sit. Aside the PG class, there is nothing else you have in. Or for science students, you go to the lab. The lab, you can't even sit down there and, for a long time. You should have a desk space where you do your work. After the experiment in the lab, you come to your desk space, you have your computer set up and... Okay, that's by the way, so I'm just going to quickly, in less than 10 minutes, run through the GATES process, the application process for GATES. She just shared her experience for you. So that is our GATES Cambridge Scholarship and overview. Of course, this was last updated 17th of August 2018. The control room, next slide. I hope somebody's still there. Okay, so this presentation is just going to run through the basics, application and selection, then the scholars alumni. If you have I'll just take only 2 questions because I think she has attended to most of the questions. Next slide. Okay, now the basics. Next. Okay, so let's look at the overview. What is GATES Cambridge Scholarship actually? So actually it is the highest single donor scholarship you have in the UK. It's a scholarship that is being donated by a single individual. Nobody in the world in the UK has donated anything that is above what Bill Gates and the wife Melinda has for this. So of course, you've heard what I said about that. You are giving 17k pounds. You have money for your first child, your second child. You have toll-free flight and all that. So you don't give it to any person. So it's very competitive. You need to prove to them that you are qualified, that you're an ideal candidate that should get this. Okay, so of course, a prestigious full-course scholarship for a postgraduate degree in any subject. There's no discrimination in any subject at University of Cambridge. Okay, so it was actually founded in 2000 by Bill Gates, who donated £250 and 10 million US dollars for this. So any other person in the world qualifies for this scholarship except UK citizens. So if you're a UK citizen, you are not qualified. If you're any other person from any other country, you are qualified for that. So the aim is to build a global network of future leaders committed to improving the lives of others. Okay, so far, 1,596 scholars have been awarded till date from 2002. Please go back. Okay, so and these scholars are from 105 countries. There is always gender balance. It's a 50-50 thing. Okay, so this is not where you say you are a woman and because of that you might not stand a chance to compete with the male folks. That's not true. So because of course you can even argue that if you are a woman and you think that there are a whole lot lesser competition for women getting into education, to academics, then it means that you even have a brighter future getting this because you have a limited number of women who might be applying, right? So being a woman is not a reason why you will say, okay, because I'm a woman, I might not be considered for this. You even have an advantage, okay? So these scholars that have been selected so far have studied previously in over 600 different universities in the world. And of course, annually, you receive about 6,000 applications, from which 90 people will be selected. That is intimidating, I know, but trust me, whenever you are making your application, forget about the number. Concentrate on what you need to do to get there. Don't worry about Mr. P. If I'm your friend and you are a second class or first class, and both of us are applying, don't think that I stand a better chance. In fact, let the fact that I have a first class and you have a second class upper inspire you to make a quality application that is going to scale through. So use other means to make up for whatever mark that first class that I have had over you. Okay? So, 225 scholars studying in Cambridge at every point in time. So, of course, for instance, if you are giving PhD students, you have first year, second year, third year. So even though every year they give 90 students, at every point in time, you have about 225 scholars in residence, which will comprise the 90 new scholars that are selected, plus another 90 from the people that probably are now in their second year, plus another 90 the people that are in their third year. Okay, that should give you more than 225, is it not? But these 90 students we are talking about, master students are part of them. A master program is usually 1 year. So what it means is that if 90 come on board in their first year, in second year, 90 will not be there because some masters would have finished their master program. So if you have like 45 master students, then in second year you have only 45 PhD moving forward. And same thing move over to the third year. So, but at every point in time, they make it such that 225 scholars will be on residence. And so far, 1,339 scholars who studied on GATE have graduated, and they are making things move in the real world out there. Of course, if we check that in pounds, about £241 million investment in this, 91 million pounds has been spent so far. So even if there is a first year student here, don't think that before you graduate the money would have run out. No, it's still there. So start building yourself. Next slide. In the first place. If you don't, they might not fund that. If the mistake is on your own part, you're just being nonchalant and you're not serious and all that, you're not able to prove that they should do that, then forget it. Then of course, hardship funding. She mentioned it. No, don't worry, next slide. Hardship funding. So if for any reason, after all this money has been given to you, you have some problem that you don't have the money, maybe health issue or family issue that took up the money and all that, you can make application to them and still tell them that despite all this generous funding, you still have this problem. And they will also consider that apart from that very scholarship, within the university system, the college system, the university also have hardship funds that you can access. So when you have this problem, they want to make sure that you don't have a reason to say that this is why you could not progress academically. They want to make sure everything is there for you. So the application and selection, this is what they are looking at. A good student when you get to Cambridge. Of course, the leadership capacity. One of the aims of this fund is to be able to recruit scholars who are going to be future leaders, who are going to impact to the society. So during your application, you need to prove to them that you are this person, and then a commitment to improving the lives of others. Now, I want to make something remark. Don't start now, okay? Let's assume that you want to get a scholarship. And because it has said a commitment to improving the lives of others, you want to start being artificial. Maybe that is not the natural person you are. I encourage you, be that artificial person. Because I know that the body part, for instance, which you use consistently for a particular task, becomes adapted to that task. So if you try faking yourself to be committed to lives, before you know it, it becomes who you are. And that is what we want. Okay? So, apart from this scholarship, if you want to see a better world tomorrow, start creating that better world around you. Forget how a whole lot of people are going to discourage you. If I tell you what I went through to make this event happen, you won't believe it. In fact, you will ask me, how much am I being paid? Nobody is giving me a dime. I'm spending my own money to do this. Okay, instead of getting money from someone. Right? But that does not mean that I don't have support. I have support. The Cambridge guys, the Cambridge Trust, Gates Cambridge are supporting on their own capacity. Like all these materials you'll be getting today are given by them. Of course, the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, was able to provide PAA. And, you know, supports are coming here and there. So, why are you laughing? But the long and short of it is, you don't need to ask yourself, what is it for you in something before you do that? Do this because you want to impact lives. And trust me, you might not be seeing anything that is there for you, but somehow in the future, what you've done in the past will see you through. It's weird. I had something I was looking for where I should fix that. And someone by my side just asked me, he said, "Guy, you should have told us." And I looked at it and said, "Why? It's my problem, you know, that kind of." He said, "What are you saying? Look at this, you don't know how many people you've affected their life, blah, 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 you know. You should have said it." And as we are still arguing, you should have said it. Someone by the side who held what I needed just started providing that. Okay? There is nothing special about me, but I believe that that person, probably in the past, there is something I would have done, directly or indirectly, that helped him. And he felt, yeah, I could help this guy. So that is it, that is life for you. Let A help Mr. B. Mr. B will reckon that A has helped and be able to help C. And the chain reaction continues that way. Next slide. So no one template for a GATE Cambridge scholar. There was something Jerry mentioned. She was saying something about getting a supervisor before your application. Okay? And she told you that she didn't do that. She didn't communicate with her supervisor before getting admission. Now that worked for her, but that may not work for you. Then another person might be able to get a supervisor, and the supervisor will accept to supervise you. But along the line, the person will not get the scholarship, will not get the funding. Okay? And then you might even sit on the bench and say, she did that, she didn't approach any supervisor and it worked for her. But you didn't ask yourself, why did it work for her in the first place? Now there are possibilities that she went online and looked at the research areas that people in the department are doing and then tuned her proposal to suit one of the professors. And during the selection process, the professor saw her proposal and said, okay, this is something I am interested in, so I will supervise this person. Because usually that is what happens. Getting a supervisor is not a criteria to apply to Cambridge, but it's advisable that you reach out to one. But if you tried all you could, and you could not get anyone, for instance for chemistry, where you are feeling that there is an option where they ask you if you've contacted any supervisor. And then they will say, okay, if yes, you list the people you've contacted, I think 2 of them or 3 of them. And then on the other column, they will ask you if the person responded or has accepted to supervise you. So if you contacted 3 people and none of them responded, list the 3 people you've contacted and say they have not responded. Okay? But this would mean that your proposal is tailored to what they can supervise. No supervisor will accept a student that is doing something he cannot supervise. So that's what you need to put into consideration. Don't just say, I want to work on malaria. And you go to Cambridge, to biological science department, and you just make your application, write a proposal, without looking at, is there a supervisor who is interested in working in malaria? If there is no supervisor interested in working on your project topic, it means you can't get a project supervisor. Not having a project supervisor means you cannot study in Cambridge because you can't supervise yourself. So these are the things you need to put into consideration. Okay, we have the promotional materials and you can find more of this information on the website. Next slide. So, this was what Jim Smith would have talked to you about. This is a typical flow of how GATE Cambridge selects these 90 students we are talking about. You have submitted your application. Your department will nominate your application as one of their best. It's not just one. I think either 5 or 10 comes from each department. Okay? So that means that if it's 10 and you have 150 departments in Cambridge, at the end you have, out of 6,000 applications, you have selected 1,500 applications. Now, out of the 1,500 applications that have been selected, they will not be forwarded to GATE. Okay, let me see what is there. Shortlisting committee review. Department have nominated you and sent probably 1,500, or if it's 5, they multiply by a number of departments, whatever number it is. GATE committee will review those applications that the department has sent. No, please go back. Go back, please. Okay. Now, at this second part, what happens is that out of the 1,500 or whatever number it is, about 225 students will be shortlisted. Then the other ones, we get an email telling them that although the supervisor, the department nominated them, but they are sorry because of the very high quality applications that they have received, that they found it difficult to even select the ones they have selected. They are sorry they cannot continue with you. And they also wish you luck for their scholarships in the university. But if you get this, it's not the end of the road, because these people are only giving you 90. We have other scholarship bodies that have more than 500 and all that. So what this means is that your name is now off the Gates Cambridge. Now you will not be considered for other colleges and other Cambridge scholarships and all that. Okay, so the 225 or so that has been shortlisted by the committee are now invited for an interview. Okay, the interview panels interview and then select. It is now after this interview that the selection process that happens. Okay, so you have AT academic department. One thing, for those of you who are watching, if you are watching to come to Cambridge, you know why 150 can be reduced to 180. Sometimes you have two departments fusing together. Okay, so basically from arts, biological sciences, physical sciences, social sciences, then it's okay. All right. This is, well, the same thing we've talked about. And now application and selection, numbers by selection stage. Okay, so total application, US round. Okay, they also have 2 rounds. Because Bill Gates is from the US, there's kind of preference for those in the US. Okay, so the application process for US citizens are different from the entire world. Okay, so for US round, about 800 applications are received in total. So the department nominate and shortlisting committee review 200 out of 800. For the international round, you have about 5,700 and only 250 are selected. Don't say, hey, you know, later on you are going to see someone. I purposely use her picture because he's a super lion. She's a super lion. Okay, so Nigerians are getting it. Since inception, about 10 Nigerians have gotten that.
So the chances are really small.
Okay, so the shortlisting committee puts forward for interview. So out of the 200 that were shortlisted, that department have shortlisted, only 90 will be invited for interview. And out of the 90, 35 will be selected. That is for the US round. And for these other people, out of the 250 the department have selected, 110 will be invited for interview, and only 55 will be selected. So from the number, it means that for international round, which is where you belong to, the success rate is 1%. But should that discourage you?
Yes.
Seriously, how can that discourage you? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Even if it's 0.1%, you can be that 0.1% also. Next slide, please. Okay, so one application form, I've told you that. You don't need a separate application for that. The same one application you've used for your admission is what you've been used to consider for all this. So postgraduate admission to the university, the same application form. The same application is where you choose your college membership, then the Gates, Cambridge scholarship, other funding, whatever. Everything is that single application form. Don't hit the submit button without a thorough review of what you've put there. Now, when you have 500 words, there are usually word limits to everything. Even at a point, there is a place they will tell you if there are things you think will help you for your application, which you've not put it because of the constraint you have elsewhere, put it down there. Even though that very one has its own limits. But take all these sections, put them in a Word document, the headings, write them up, send it to someone to help you review. Don't make grammatical error, don't make spelling mistakes. Read it over and over, make corrections, send it to another person. You might not give your password and whatever to your application, but I would advise that to the person. But copy the heading of what you are answering and then what you've answered in Word document. Save it. Send it to someone you want to help you look at it. I'm telling you what I did during my own application. Okay? No matter how brilliant you think you are, if you read your essay 20 times, each time you will find an error. Okay? Sometimes you can even read it 20 times and not see an error. Give it to Mr. B. He detects 20 errors in the first read. And you're asking yourself, where were this thing when I was reading it? So give this to someone to review for you. Okay? Next slide, please. So parts of the application form, the 3 reference, 2 academic, then 1 for GATE. You can use the 3 references, you can use academics for that. But just know that during your application process, you'll be asked to submit 2 references. But if you want to be considered for GATE, you will submit 1 extra referee. Now when you go on GATE's website, you are going to see what GATE requires of you to be selected, to be successful. I would advise you, copy that thing you have there, attach it to a Word document, and send it to whoever is going to write this reference to you. So that the person knows what GATE is looking for. So that he can bring out those things GATE is looking for that is in you for them to see. If he doesn't, if he writes a random reference, I'm sorry, we are heading nowhere. Because one thing about this is that the person is just going to, you're only going to submit the email. You won't see what the person has written. So you need to make sure that on your own part, that one, you reach out to somebody who will even listen to you. You know, personalities differ. You could reach out to someone to tell the person what GATE requires of you, and depending on the person, he might even tell you, are you trying to tell me I don't know how to write a reference? Like, just imagine walking up to a professor who wants to write a reference letter to you, and you tell the person, these are the things that you try to tell the person what to write. Depending on the kind of person, he might not take it lightly. But if this person is the kind of person that wouldn't take this lightly, he's not suitable to write your reference letter. I have to be honest with you. He's not suitable to write your reference letter. So make sure you are careful. Don't select someone because he's your academic advisor. He can be your academic advisor, but he's not in the best position to write this reference letter for you. So bypass that person and look for who can write the winning reference for you. Okay? So of course your academic transcript, and then your CV. Oh no. Somebody sent me a CV the other time to go through and see how to modify. I started asking him if this was the CV she wrote during her secondary school education or something. Well, I'm not going to talk much about that, but I have a document that will tell you how to write both a professional CV and an academic CV. So when I'm sending this, I'm going to also attach that. There are samples, things you shouldn't include, and things you should include, how you should draft them, how you should start your CV. Everything you need to know about CV is right in there. I'm going to send it to you. Okay, so don't worry about that. I don't have to talk much about that. Okay, so this is Chioma, a mother of 2 kids, and a GATE scholar, who is also a super learner. okay, from archaeology. So you can see, those of you who think that it's only science that gets it. The person I'm talking about is from UNN, who has this? It's from archaeology. She got it from archaeology. Okay? And I think this picture was taken in one of our conferences. She has actually won some award in Cambridge from her presentation, the soap, whatever, a whole lot of things. So Nigerians who are there are making way. They are doing their best. When you come in initially, it might look as if the stage is trying to eat you up. But we have that resilience. We have that ruggedness. We can always survive any environment. Within a couple of months, you fit into the environment and you speed up wherever you are. So if PhD applicants, if you're a PhD applicant, you need a research proposal. Like I told you before, I don't think master application requires that. And then, of course, any other document that the university requires. No institutional nomination required. Even if Harvard knows you, Harvard cannot recommend to kids that this person is a brilliant person. If you think you are brilliant, join the queue and show us what you've got. Next slide, please. Okay, so personal statements. Now, if you read it through and ask yourself, what you've read, did it show any capacity for leadership? Did it show your interest and achievement, both academic and extracurricular? So read and then begin to ask yourself those questions. This you are reading, does he do this? Does he? By the end you see that you've been able to come up with something that answers most of those questions. Answering those questions is not just it. Apart from answering the question, you should be able to talk about what is the weight of your answers. Okay? I'm not saying you should fabricate something that is not in existence. Right? So that you don't look like my friend who said that he has some engineering skills. And when the time comes to couple a car, he said he was just a bicycle repairer. That all of them are still engineering skills.
Wow.
Okay. So be truthful with what you're trying to put in there. So what it means is that so that you don't go and start putting things that are false, you need to start acting those things for real. Start changing those lives. Start doing the real things so that you can put them in there as they are. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay, yeah, this Nsukka, she's from Kenya. Actually, she finished that was last year. And for some moments, did her postdoc before heading back to Kenya. So this is one thing that I'm so passionate about is that the African community in Cambridge, every now and then, the discussion, we don't even discuss about our academics in Cambridge. We discuss about ways of moving Africa forward. So if you want to be part of this discussion, then you should come to Cambridge. Honestly, trust me, you should come to Cambridge. All of us wants to come, and I do be happy to see you guys around. We want to see the community grow. That is why we are having this program, okay? Alright, so ranking question, the reference. Please give your assessments of the applicants. This is usually what they send to the referee whom you've nominated to write your reference later. So the person will just get an email telling him, please give your assessment of the applicant's suitability for a Gates Cambridge scholarship, which are awarded on the following criteria: outstanding intellectual ability, leadership potential, a commitment to improving the lives of others, a good fit for a postgraduate program at Cambridge for which they are applying. So now, this is where, as you can see, it's a guided to GATE's website for more information. This is where I said some of these referees that you're going to select might not want to go to GATE's Cambridge to start looking for where you have this criteria. So go there yourself, get those things out and send to me. It's easier for him to read, him or her to read through and see what an ideal candidate looks for. Okay, so who should write? We have talked about that. Your advisor, make sure you are very careful with what you're selecting, who writes this for you. Don't just select this person because you think you don't have any other person to write for you. If you don't have, try to approach someone one-on-one. If the person doesn't know anything about you, you can send the person your CV. But that means that you should have prepared a winning CV that shows who you are. There is what we call master CV. A master CV is a CV that is meant for you and you alone. What you do is that anything you do in your life that you think should come into a CV, go there and put it in there. At that moment when you are doing it, that everything is still fresh. The impact you've made, how you went about it, is still fresh in you. Go there and put it down there. Now, when you want to submit your CV for a particular thing, you will realize what people usually do is that they have just one CV. Anybody that asks them to send CV, they just take it and flog the person. You want to go for employment, you take the same thing you've used to apply for masters to apply for a banking job. You take the same thing you've used to apply for a banking job to apply for your PhDs. How does that work? It doesn't. So what you should do is that you have a master CV that have both your professional and your academic records. Now when you want to make an application that requires a CV, you should know things that should come under an academic CV. You move to your master CV, you copy them and place them there. Okay, and then you submit. But this very master CV is what I want you to send to that person who is going to write this reference letter, who you think doesn't really know much about you, but he knows something about you, but there are certain things you have done which he doesn't know about. Send it to the person. The person will read through and then see other things you've done and then be able to bring those things to light in your reference. Your reference carries a huge amount of weight, so you need to be very careful who writes them. Next, please. Round one. Okay, this is for US citizens. Usually the deadline is 10th October. I told you that application portal for Cambridge opened on the 3rd of September. That's like 11 days ago. And if you want to be considered for a GATE scholarship and you're a US citizen, you should submit your application before 10th of October. And then the round 2, which is the international round, application opens, of course, early September, which is already there. The deadlines for this is dependent on your department. Somewhere, countries and companies, they are the people that provide these funds for you. So if you lose that network that connects them, it becomes impossible for you to even get someone that is going to fund some of the activities you'll be doing. Trust me, there are a whole lot of things we could fix in UNM if we have a strong alumni network that we can always look up to and tell them, this is the school that you have passed through, and we think you could help us build a brighter future for the future generation. But we neglect those things. Another good thing about coming to Cambridge is that whether you did your Cambridge you did your master's, PhD, or undergrad in Cambridge, you become a member of the university for life. Now we have certain things like career service, which even as an alumni, you continue to access the services that they provide for life. these kind of things when you have a platform that helps your students even after graduation, rather than allow them pass through the rigorous training or wherever that the academic life has to offer, and you don't give a damn what happens after they leave school. Yeah, of course, the university cannot start a job, like start a company for you, but they can give you information that could help you with doing those things. We should be able to form a base that should do that for us, so that we have a very diverse community. Of course, having these coming from over 600 countries, 200 countries or so, we should be able to have a very strong and diverse community. Next, please. Next. Okay, these are our scholars and engaging with the global challenges. Let's look at some of the things that people who've got this scholarship have done, or what they have done even before or after they've got that. Basically, I'm interested in two. The first one and the last one there. The guy from Ghana, before his application, this means that he must have included it in his personal statement or somewhere. As an undergraduate, they developed an online platform to increase educational opportunities for young Africans. This is something you could do. You could go on Facebook, open up an online platform that is typically for sharing scholarship opportunities. It is your responsibility to surf the internet, get scholarship links, post it on Facebook, invite people to read, and then spread the news. This could be what this guy did. And today, you can see that that helped him. That made Gates to consider that this person has that commitment to improving lives. And so we think this is one of those leaders we need. Now look at the last person. He's from US. He raised several $1 million for sustainable coffee farming in Latin America before coming to Cambridge. Now I know someone in his mind here will say, if I can raise several $1 million for some coffee farming, why can't I do that myself and then use it to even fund my studies there? So for you to be able to raise this amount of money, not for yourself, but for something else, shows that you have that commitment to improving lives. And so they consider that this is someone we think you might work with. Okay, so well, later on, you can also visit the Gates website and see the entire profile and read the biography of previous scholars. You can decide to concentrate on Africa to see what happens, to see what those guys have done in the past and the kind of things they have there. Next slide. Okay, so you can visit our website, and no matter how long it takes, but just make sure you are making your email brief. If you send them email, they will respond to your questions. But you must make sure that you've searched through the website, and then what you are trying to ask them is nowhere in their website. So you need to always do your own part. If, for instance, you send me an email asking me a question that I know is on Cambridge website, I can say, okay, it's possible you were not able to access that place. The best way to answer that question is to copy the link that points you direct to where the answer is, and then use it to reply to you. But why would you make me pass through that stress instead of doing it yourself? When you know that under this condition, that many people would rather like to contact you to ask you one or two things. It's always good for you to show the commitment on your own, do your own bit. When you send me an email to ask me a question, from the question I know if you've done your own bit. If it's something I know that you could easily Google and get the answer, the first thing I will tell myself is, reply this person might even be a waste. Right? But because I don't like ignoring email, even though it might take me like 3 months. But yeah, don't worry. I try to reply email. But try to make sure that what you are trying to ask is something that, you really need to ask about. So do I have any questions? Who has the mic? Who has the mic? I have a question. Who has the second mic?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is in your introductory speech. You talked about the need to include your choice college in the application.
I didn't get to, sorry.
I said you mentioned that you'll be required to choose a college when making the application. Then I want you to know what would be considered in making the selection of colleges. Then my second question is the interview for this scholarship. Could it be discussed? Thank you.
Okay, I will take the first question. Each of these 31 colleges have their own website. So if you want to get detailed information about what the college is about, you need to visit the website. There is something we are trying to do at the Graduate Union in Cambridge University. I'm trying to produce an alternative prospectus with, we are working together with the Gates Scholar Council to produce an alternative prospectus for international students. Because sometimes it could be very difficult to get some information you need. There's no central place where you can get a summary of what you need. So we are trying to put up a website that could point you directly to the specific information that you want. But there is a place you could get a summary under where the colleges are listed. Which of the college is a mature college, which one is for undergrad, and which one is predominantly female. For instance, Lucy Cavendish is female college. So if you are a guy and you choose Lucy Cavendish, so that is Oyo for you. Okay, so, but apart from this, there are other things you need to consider when you are choosing your college. People consider which college also has funding. There are some colleges that have studentship. So what it means that if you fail to get the university-wide scholarship, whether the Gates Scholarship, the Cambridge Scholarship, the Cambridge Africa Scholarship, but you have used those colleges as first choice, those colleges can consider you for their internal scholarship, which will still pay the same thing with what the university-wide scholarship will pay. Okay? So sometimes, if you are not a member of that college, you won't know about this because some of these colleges don't put up the scholarship on their website. Okay? But we've realized that this could disadvantage some people. If I use Wolfson College as my first, and then use Clare as my second, something might happen, and Wolfson didn't consider me to stay in their college. Maybe my application came late or something else, or they were subscribed or something. Now I'll be considered for my second college. Now I am going to Clare, which I have chosen as my second option. But Clare will not consider me for their scholarship because I didn't take them in my first option. So that means that I have a disadvantage, even though I'm not going to live in that college. So in order to avoid this, the Cambridge Trust is now trying to have a central control of all the scholarships you have in Cambridge. So that irrespective of what you use as a first choice or second choice of college, you will stand a chance of getting a scholarship that you are supposed to get. There are thousands of scholarships given out in Cambridge every year, and I believe that you could be one of them. Then the second question, what was that?
The interview can be Skype.
Yes, they will give you an option of whether you want to come to the UK for the interview or whether you want it to Skype. You make the choice. I think they will fund the trip. I'm not sure, but I think. Okay, the second question. Can someone help me to control the mic?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I asked a question initially when the chair was talking. But it was not attended to.
Oh, sorry about that.
My question is that she has been talking about postgraduate and master's.
Okay, I remember that question.
Thank you.
Okay, basically, I came here for postgraduate. I have a slide for an undergraduate presentation, okay? But I'm not doing that because of one, the time constraint, and two, I didn't think this is the right setting, the right audience for that. Because like I said in my introductory remark, that for you to enter Cambridge, you need to take the A-level exam. Okay? So if you are already in the university and you really want to do your undergrad in Cambridge, it means that you need to find a way to take the A-level exam. And when you do that and you want to apply to Cambridge, when you make your application, you have to travel to Cambridge to do your interview. As an undergrad, your college will organize an interview for you. You will come in, it's part of the things they will consider before you are given the admission. And I don't think they will fund that trip. Okay, but if you are really interested, I could also, you can meet me personally after this. I will send you the slide that I have on the undergrad thing. You can do that. Then, if you have specific questions, you can ask. Then we'll talk about that. Next question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two questions. The first one: do the colleges duplicate programs? Because what we understand as college is just like faculty, as we have College of Medicine. So what I am asking, do all these colleges run the same programs?
Okay.
And then repeating them. The second question, the transcript, the transcript, yes. Will they prefer the university to send it to them, the university of the applicant? Or if you get it at any cost, I'll attach it to sit accepted. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with the college system. Yeah, it's normal to have this kind of confusion about the college system you have in Cambridge. In the entire UK, you have only 2 universities that does that. It's just Cambridge and Oxford. Each of these colleges does have academic activities for students. The department takes care of academic activities. What it means, let me use UNS here to describe the college. You've got all your faculties. The same way you have your faculties here, you have faculties in the University of Cambridge. You have your departments. Now you have your hostels, right? Now instead of saying that an Njogo is an Njogo hostel, we will say an Njogo is an Njogo college. If you go to an Njogo hostel, you are going to see students from arts, you are going to see students from chemistry, you are going to see students from social sciences. All of them live in an Njogo. But an Njogo is a hostel house in them. The only difference between an Njogo and a typical college in Cambridge is that apart from the building and the fact that you have your personal room in the hostel, and you have your kitchen, and everything works fine. You have the porter who takes care of everything that works there. The college also tried to organize some training that could help students. Like they could organize some kind of how to write a thesis, how to code, how to do a whole lot of activities. Okay, and then within the college, the same way you will have a council of all governors, then all governors and the executive, you have what we call MCR, which are the students' union government thing to manage the activities of the students. And within every college has their own dining. Your university card, even though it will bear University of Cambridge, is going to be tied to your college. And every college has had their own kind of color identification. So if you show me your Cambridge University card, I'll be able to figure out which college you are. Because my card will have a different color on the edge with somebody who is from a different college. So the college takes care of your pastoral care. That is where you go to sleep. You wake up in the morning, you go to your department, you do your academic lives in the department and all that. Then for undergrad, the college manages most of the academic lives. The teaching takes place in the department. But for instance, the same way here you have your academic advisors, whereby 50 people might be tied to a particular lecturer to be supervised. In Cambridge, the assignment of supervision is for undergrad is done by the college, and it's such that a single student could have, depending on the number of courses you're doing, if you have 12 courses that semester, you are going to have 12 supervisors. Each of those courses will have a different supervisor, and each supervisor cannot take more than 3 students. That is how they make sure that you have this contact, this closeness, this close monitoring. Okay? At the end of your course program, when you write your exam, each of these supervisors, your tutors, your lecturers, will get a survey to fill out something about the course they have taught you. Alright? You fill things from the point of view of either a supervisor, a demonstrator, a lecturer, wherever you are. And you recommend ways that the teaching experience and learning experience for that course could be improved. On the other hand, the students will be asked to also rate you. So the students will tell them, okay, I had a wonderful experience with the supervisor, is this, is that, and all that. If there is any point that is raised by the student about you, the university community, the college will take it up. You will be written and people will tell you about that. If students also say beautiful things about it, they will also send a mail to you telling you from the last survey, this is what. They won't tell you the students who say that. They'll say this is what this person has said. Okay? So the college system is really working for Cambridge. It makes teaching and learning perfect for them.
I have 2 questions.
Okay, what was the second?
The transcript.
Okay, now, when you are making the application, you mustn't use your original transcript. Like I said, wherever you get that, upload it, because you're uploading your soft copy. After your submission, you'll be given a link that will take you out of the application portal and take you to a different portal where you upload the supporting document. Now, there you can just upload soft copy of the transcript, whether it's a private transcript, whether it's a scanned transcript, whatever it is, you upload it there. But when you were offered admission, one of the conditions that you must meet for your admission to be confirmed is that your university must directly send the original transcript. So why this is good, that for like UNN, where if you need transcript for 20 times, you need to pay for transcript for 20 times. You can get one, use it to make the application. When you are sure that you are actually going to Cambridge, you cannot afford to pay 35K to send the transcript, so you don't waste your money. Unlike, for instance, in Japan, for instance, after my master's, before I left, I was given 12 copies of my original transcript for free. Don't like it. So that's that. Another question, can we move somewhere else? We are concentrated here. Please hand in the word, please.
Good day, everyone. So my question has to do with the Africa of our doing initiative. Among what was in the survey you sent to us, that's what people would like to be volunteers. But we don't detail how we can actually follow that up.
The person in the control room, can you set up the third presentation? The one that is just 4 slides. Okay, why that is coming up? Let me just tell you a brief about Africa poetry. It's a foundation I founded, and we have, broadly speaking, 2 different membership. We have voting membership and non-voting membership. The voting members are just the trustees. These are the decision makers, and the trustees are divided into 2. You have the ones that are made up of the governing board, and then you have the non-trustees. Now for the governing board, only the founding trustees can be elected to be members of the governing board, unless, as time goes on, if they decide, they can elect new people to join the governing board. And then the second part of the trustees are the appointed trustees, who are not part of the founding trustees, but we think they have the experience and what it takes to drive the goals, the aims and objectives of the foundation. So we can appoint them to be part of us. They will have a voting power. Now, apart from these people, the foundation will have a manager who is going to specifically manage the activities of what is going on. By virtue of this person being a manager, he qualifies to be a trustee. Any day he or she ceases to be the manager of the foundation, he or she also ceases to be a member of the trustee. Okay? For now, we are just starting up, so there might not be a pay for this manager, but on the long run, the managerial position will be a paid position. It will be a salary position, both the manager and the assistant, because they will run the activities of the foundation like as if it's no job for them. Okay? Then that is for the voting membership. For the non-voting members, we group them into 2. One are the ambassadors of the foundation, and the 2 are the associate members. The associate members are people who maybe do not have the time or the capacity to do anything for the foundation, aside maybe giving some support in form of donation, whether material or cash or whatever, but they don't volunteer and don't facilitate anything for the foundation. They are just associate members. They are also non-members or non-voting members. Then the second part of the non-voting members are the ambassadors, where you have them divided into 2. One, you have the volunteers, and then the second are the facilitators. So the volunteers are the people who volunteer themselves. It's not a paid position. You just put up your time to help, like, champion the activities of the foundation. While facilitators are people who help to facilitate certain projects that the foundation wants to execute. So for instance, on Tuesday, we'll be traveling somewhere in Imo State to visit some secondary schools, look at some projects we're going to do there, distribute some of these exercise books we are giving to you today, to encourage students, talk to them about future, speak with them, interact with them, okay? Those rural areas where we think that the education is really on the down end. Okay, try to encourage and see what the foundation can do to bring them up, to help with the school, help learn and a lot of things. So that kind of thing, if we want to do it, we'll have a facilitator who is going to organize that very project. And we have volunteers who would want to go with the facilitator or any of the trustees to go execute this project. So if you're an ambassador, you will always have a membership card. And anytime you cease to be an ambassador, well, if you read the Constitution, you see the period of years under which if you act as an ambassador, maybe as a volunteer or a facilitator, you'll be issued with a certificate that you can use anywhere to prove that you've done a volunteering job somewhere. Okay, all these things helps to build your CV. So that is what I was saying when I said that I did not only bring you this opportunity, but I also bring a medium, a platform, through which you can help impact, help lives, so that this can also help you to make a better application when you are seeking for some of these applications that requires you to show some of these commitments to improve lives and leadership qualities as well. Okay, so sorry that it looks like you submitted the feedback form and I didn't even talk about that. So if you really want to get involved, the 3 ways you can get involved is either you become a facilitator, or you become a volunteer, or you can just be an associate member. You could want to give us some money to run some projects. You can also go online. There is a place you can send us email. If there is something you think is happening, we don't usually consider personal things, like you go online and say, you are from Enugu and your family house is kind of dilapidated and you need fix. But if you say that in Enugu there is this primary school, the students don't even have a place where they can sit down, discouraged from going to school. You state those problems and you are able to kind of send off pictures of what you're talking about. And then we look at it, we could send one of our volunteers or facilitators to go visit the school, get us what is on ground, and then get pictures. We can write a proposal. We have access to a whole lot of grants that we can apply for, tell them what the problem is and what we want to do. We'll get this funding. Then we can move down to those village schools, wherever it is, to get those things going. Okay. Under this condition, you might stand if you want to register as an associate member because you have interest in what the foundation is doing, but you do not want to volunteer and you do not want to facilitate any of their projects. So that means that we welcome everybody, whether you want to volunteer or you don't want to volunteer. You can visit them, although the website is under construction, you might not get full details of a whole lot of things. But with time, we update the activities on the website, and if you visit there from time to time, you should be able to get more information. Alright, thank you. Any other question? Can I move the mic down? I don't know, the people were... 3 of you are sharing. Okay, I'm going to take as little, maybe 2 or 3 more questions because I've been warned about time. You know, this place needs to be lost. This whole thing needs to be dismantled and okay, so we need to move out. It's okay, go ahead.
My question is it possible to work and study at the same time? That's one. The second one is, considering what you said about the references, the referees, is is it possible that you yourself, you write the whole thing by yourself, write the whole everything, and just hand it over to the person to send me an email? And the last one is it also possible to, after studying there, just stay?
Okay, the fastest response to 3 of your answers is yes. Everything you said is possible. But look at it this way. You have the right to choose from A or B. It's your choice. You can make that choice. But you cannot select what consequence comes with the choice you made. I personally will not advise you that you should do some kind of, well, the issue of you writing the personal statement yourself, the reference letter yourself. If you are very sure you are going to be writing the correct thing about you, I think it's fine. Now, when you write it by yourself and send to this supervisor or this professor, and this person sends it out, the person who is receiving the reference is no longer going to be seeing it as you wrote it. Because, personally, if you send me your own reference that you've written by yourself, and I read through, I'm not convinced this is who you are, I will not send it. Okay, that is my own personal decision. Because I would prefer that things are done the normal way they should be done. If you are trying to fix this country, then we should always stick to doing the right thing. But that does not mean that you writing your own personal statement, that your own reference letter is kind of wrong, provided you are writing the truth about you in there. Now, when you send it to me, it's my responsibility to go through that and convince myself that what you've written about yourself is actually true. So that if tomorrow anything happens and I'm called upon to defend my reference, I should be able to do that. That is on the reference. True. Is it possible for you to go there and work? Yes and no. If you have a scholarship, the scholarship will discourage you from working. However, for Cambridge, your visa as a student in the UK permits you to work for 20 hours in the UK as a student. Now, what?
The week I want.
Per week. Per week. 20 hours per week. Okay? Now, but as a Cambridge student, you cannot work for 20 hours. Cambridge has a limitation that if you're a student in Cambridge, you can only work for 10 hours per week. Now, the restriction did not end there. You went further to say that these 10 hours must be academic-related work. Which can be, no, don't allow because the academic-related works are there. Which could be supervision, demonstration in the lab, marking scripts, all these things that people could do here and not get paid. Lecturers don't do demonstrations, like practical demonstrations in Cambridge.
I want to cut this.
Don't stress people to do that. They use PhD students to do that. And if you have a class of 100 students, you will have 10 PhD students assigned to that class. So that each of them could take 10 students and have a closer supervision with their practical works in the lab. One thing, when you mark their scripts, when you fail a particular number, you thought of why they are failing it, you make comments on their, like in close demonstration, in close supervision. Okay, so that's typical for Cambridge. Then the last question which says, can you just finish and stay there? It's a personal decision. In reality, It's possible to do that. But what that means is that after your graduation, you should be able to get a job that will now give you an extension of your visa to remain. Because you cannot remain if you don't have a visa to remain there. Once you are graduating, the university is sending through the international office, student office, is sending the home office a mail that they are done with you. But as a PhD student, after your PhD, your visa usually requires sponsorship. So as a student who is applying there, the university is going to sponsor your visa. So that is the reason. Once you graduated, you are no longer a student. They will have to inform the home office that stop our sponsorship for this student. He's no longer a student. He's now an alumni. But if you are a PhD student, you have, I think, extra 1 year that you can even stay in UK without a visa sponsorship. But that does not mean that you'll be using an expired residence card. You have to apply for that. You have to change your status from a student tier 4 visa to something else that will allow you to start working for more than 20 hours. Okay? So depending on how you play your game, if you're able to get work at a particular company, the company could sponsor your visa, and then you can continue to stay. Alright? However, there was a debate in the last Africa Together conference we had, home and abroad, where is the most strategic place to make impact? Okay? It was a debate, and there are people who are supporting home, and other people who are supporting abroad. Okay? But in the midst of this call, you can make impact from anywhere. The only thing is, do you want to make an impact? That's the question. Even though the guy who was arguing for home, he used one sentence, at Cambridge, he was speaking Igbo to back up, he's an Igbo guy, here from Enugu. He said, Ichoigo, Ibatano, otherwise, Igbo Nenki. So it was like, if you really want to fight, you come into the ring. If not, you're just a spectator. Okay? But I still believe that you can be outside and making some impact. You can be on the ground and making some impact. Alright? But the main thing is, always have that mindset of improving the lives of others. If you don't, if you're just thinking about yourself, remaining in the UK after everything, it's not going to make the world a better place. Can I take one last question?
Yes. And then defer it for whatever
No.
reason.
There was a good lady here. Just that's the last one, please. I don't think ladies have asked questions.
Good day, everyone. I want to ask a question. You said, why apply? That you indicate that you want to apply for GATE scholarship. And I'm asking a question, what if you don't get it? Can they shift you to other scholarship opportunities in the school? Or can you apply for both?
Yes, I made that, I think I said that before. All you need to do is, there is a link where you have to say, they should consider you for university-wide, and they should also consider you for GATE. In fact, all the scholarships you want, if there are any other options of scholarships in that application for which you think you qualify for, tick them. So what happens is that if you don't consider for GATE, your application moves down to some other places. In fact, other scholarship opportunities don't even wait for your application to be rejected by one. They consider your application at the same time. At the same time that Cambridge Trust is considering your application, GATE Cambridge is considering your application. some college that you belong to, if they have students, they are considering your application at the same time. That is the reason they will tell you to accept it within 48 hours. And you are not allowed to have 2 scholarships in the same university. You can't. So if you have GATE and all of a sudden Cambridge Trust sends you an offer of another scholarship, you must decline one of them. It's a full scholarship, so there is no mathematical. If you don't decline, you will find out. Because each of the scholarship pays your tuition fee to your college. So if GATE sends your tuition fee to your college, and Cambridge Trust sends another tuition fee to your college, are you two in one? Okay, I would have really loved to continue answering questions.
Stop to that last question.
Okay, what is it?
We are wondering now, because you had earlier told us that you had strength and they shared it. We are thinking that you accept the inertia.
Okay, look at what happened in my case. My case was, I got the first one and I accepted it. Now when I got the second one, I thought of finding a way around it, but there was no way around it. I had to write Cambridge Trust and explain to them. And they told me that either I decline the one I have now to accept the second one, or I reject this. I cannot have 2 of them. Okay? Then it was at that point that I was told that at this point I even have 2 scholarships. So this third one I'm talking about is actually a third one, not a second one. And I asked how. Then I was told that Cambridge Trust is funding 50% of my scholarship, and Cambridge Africa is funding 50% of my scholarship. So the IGB scholarship I'm not talking about is a third one. Okay. So what I did, I said, okay, is there a way? I looked at the benefits, the after-school benefits of the scholarship, the alumni benefits. For IGB, I could apply for a grant, a small seed grant ranging in some tens of thousands of pounds to start up like an earlier career laboratory. So if I decline from that, I might not have that opportunity. But because I'm looking at what happens after my PhD, so I can assess that fund, I wrote them and said, I would want to be part of this scholarship, but fine, pay me the same money, but let me be recognized as members. So they had to now send me an upgraded scholarship offer, telling me that I'm now on Cambridge Trust, Cambridge Africa, IDB scholarship, but the money is not the same. Okay, it's been a wonderful moment, and I hope you will not just open your bag and allow whatever you've gotten from here today fall out. I hope you head home, try to visit GATE's website, Cambridge Trust website, the University of Cambridge website, and then depending on the materials you got from here, you try to look at what you have inside and make a move to get in there. Now you must not even come to Cambridge, but I want to tell you that if you apply the same thing we have talked about in the application processes from Cambridge to other universities in the UK, Europe, and elsewhere, you stand a better and excellent chance of getting into those universities. If you think that Cambridge is really not for you, it does not mean that your time here is a waste. You can apply it somewhere else. It mustn't be in Cambridge. But I want to tell you that you should not be discouraged by the name Cambridge. You can make it. Give it a try and see how it goes. Okay, something you do regularly to yourself gets into you than the theoretical aspect of whatever it is. Okay?
Alright, so thank you very much. And at this point, I want to join the curtain for this program. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you for
My name is Auditorium Lucy. I'm a fresh graduate of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Department of Zoology and Environmental Biology. I am here for the Cambridge University of Nigeria, Nsukka collaboration outreach program for scholarships for undergraduate and postgraduate students. So I'm here to learn and hear more about scholarship opportunities.
So why do you think you're interested in this program?
Because the program is like an eye-opener and an informative one, which is actually going to answer most questions which we as a fresh graduate find very hard to answer concerning scholarship positions and how to apply for them.
So do you think this program was useful for you?
Yes, it was very useful because first I was able to understand that there are multiple scholarship opportunities to get into Cambridge. Secondly, I was able to understand that there are no restrictions for departments you can apply for, meaning I can apply, everybody is viable for this scholarship. I also made to understand that they are actually full-time scholarship, meaning I have everything I need settled for as a student. All I need to do is read and apply for them.
So before now, do you have the vision of traveling abroad for further studies?
Yes, I do.
And what were the steps you were taking to make sure that dream comes to reality?
I subscribed to many scholarship websites. I had to do a lot of reading, and I also had to improve myself because I discovered that they require leadership skills and many other skills. So I had to build them to make me a qualified candidate for these scholarships. Yes.
And what could those obstacles be?
My major obstacle is finances, because I was just informed that from the program that I need to pay some certain amount to register to actually apply for it, and this is actually an impediment because I don't have such amount. I'm a fresh graduate, I'm not working, I don't have any source of fund for that. So that is my major and only impediment. I might not be able to start up my application because of the application fee.
And be able to actually submit a quality application that could be considered for admission.
Yes, I would be able if Cambridge give me such an opportunity.
Apart from financial constraint, is there any other impediments towards your voyage to Cambridge?
No, I don't have any other constraint.
My name is Nnamdi Henry. I'm a student here at University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I'm a student of microbiology, 100 level.
Okay, you're 100 level, first year. So what inspired you to attend this Cambridge University outreach program here in UN?
Actually, I've been looking up to any scholarship that I will register. So when I finally saw this in our portal, that's University of Nigeria Nsukka website, I was moved, I was motivated. So I should let me come and see what actually this is all about.
Okay, so now that you are here and you've attended the program, listening to the speakers and those who have had experience going through the application process and getting into Cambridge with a fully funded scholarship, are you being motivated? Do you see yourself getting into Cambridge tomorrow?
Yeah, I feel motivated, yeah.
And why do you think that you'll be able to make it to Cambridge?
Since the scholarship is free for anybody, despite your country, I think by God's grace, I can.
Yeah, the scholarship actually is for everyone, but it's not for everyone at the same time. In the sense that there are things they are looking for, leadership qualities, academic excellence, and all other things that were actually listed during the program. Do you think you have those abilities? You have those qualities?
Yeah.
So is there anything that you think would be on your way, would be an impediment towards you getting into Cambridge in the near future after your undergraduate studies here at the University of Nigeria?
Actually, for now, if I should apply as an undergraduate, my major challenge should be the financial aspect of it. That's the money to purchase the form. But I know in subsequent time, maybe if peradventure I have any cash around me, I know I will apply.
Okay, now let's look at you finishing your undergrad in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and then wanting to further your studies, your postgraduate studies in Cambridge, do you think there are things that will stand on your way when the time comes?
When the time comes, for now, it's just that financial aspect.
Okay,
Yeah.
before now and now that you've attended this program, are there things that you are considering to do different to help you have the skills and what is necessary to get into Cambridge?
Yeah, especially towards engaging in extracurricular activities, such like being outspoken in any, especially in our departmental level, being a good leader, to be able to carry other people along.
So what do you think you do different?
I would like to have another means in order to help any person that comes around me if I can.
Okay, it's a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for coming on camera with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, my name is Oka Somarina Frederick. I'm in Soil Science Department, 400 level, in this University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Okay, so how did you get to hear about this program?
I get to hear about this program through the portals, the school mail portal.
Okay, so the University of Nigeria Nsukka sent you an email about the program.
Yeah,
and
they did.
You picked interest. Why did you pick interest to attend?
Actually, I picked interest in it most especially because it's a full funded scholarship and also an opportunity to travel outside the country for my academic studies in a more advanced world.
So what are you taking home after this outreach?
I'm taking home so many things, but most especially that this scholarship is fully funded by a group of people that loves the interest of youth. Because I'm taking home again that this scholarship is funded by people that had the interest of Africans at heart. That those people, as they were able to fund this scholarship in their own, that means they have this kind of love for Africa. They have this initiative that Africa will move forward than as it is now.
So on your own part, would you really want to come to Cambridge?
Yeah, I would like to come to Cambridge.
And why would you want to come to Cambridge?
I would want to come to Cambridge because of so many reasons, but in a nutshell, due to the advanced education they have, like as you were saying, you said that during the supervision, a lecturer may be given 100 students, and in those 100 students, the postgraduates are employed to supervise those 100 students. 10 of them having each undergraduate, having each postgraduate 10 students, so which increases the postgraduates having 3 students, which increases the relationship between the lecturer and the student. So what attracts me most, that I love to go there for, is the reason of this kind of interaction between the students and the lecturer.
So are there impediments that you foresee in the future that might prevent you from getting into Cambridge?
Yeah, there are impediments.
So what are they?
The impediment is, first of all, from my own part. If I do not work hard, number one, to apply for the scholarship, it won't be given to me. And also, if I don't work also hard to make my application more competent enough, I won't get it. And my most impediment is based on the application fee.
The application fee?
Yeah.
The same £60 we're talking about?
Yeah.
So aside the financial constraint, is there any other thing you see standing on your way to get into Cambridge?
Nothing really.
Okay, thank you very much, and I wish you the best with your academic dreams.
Thank you,
and
sir.
hope to see you in Cambridge.
It's all my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Nsukka Austria. I recently graduated from the Department of Microbiology, University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Okay, so how did you get to know about the Cambridge University Outreach Program that just took place at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka?
Okay, I happened to be in contact with Mr. Chooks for a very long time, and he got to tell me about the program, and I should try and get my classmates involved as well as other people that might be interested. So I got to hear from him directly. Then I also saw it on the school website because I had to download it from there and send it to my class group so they'll get to know about it too.
Okay, personally, why the interest? Why your own personal interest in this program?
Okay, my interest in the program is because when I do after my NYSC, I would like to do a master's program in public health. But then over the years, I found out that you can't really do masters in public health here because they don't have the necessary facilities and all that. So when I got to know about, I wanted to do my masters abroad. So when I get to know about the Cambridge scholarship, I said probably this is a platform for me to try. So I said I'll come and listen. Then probably I'll get more motivation to like.
So would you really want to come to Cambridge?
Yes, I really like to come to Cambridge.
So why do you think you want to come to Cambridge?
Because okay, it's like the second best world rated university. So I've been I think when I was in second year, someone was telling me about so many schools. Then he spoke about Cambridge too. Then how good they are trying to compete with Oxford and all that. So when Mr. Chooks got his Cambridge scholarship, I knew about it and I was motivated. He ditched the MEC scholarship and moved over to Cambridge. I was like, whatever made him to go to Cambridge must be very interesting. I picked more interest. Then luckily for me, this event came.
So from this program today, from this outreach, what are you taking home?
Okay, everything I need about every scholarship, not basically Cambridge, has been given to me. It's just from the application process, everything I need has been given to me here. It's just to go back, put those things together and try to work on myself and try to get people involved to help assist me in doing the application.
So for you, what do you see standing on your way towards access to Cambridge?
I don't think there's anything. Some people were talking about the money, but then I think if you want something, £60 won't be much thing for you. No matter what, even if you have to get your parents involved, tell people so they will assist you with the funds and all that. But then while I was thinking about this, I got to know that Cambridge is very competitive. You can as well use that money and apply somewhere else, so you can easily get the scholarship. But then I feel Cambridge is the best. The best is always the best.
Okay, so you think that if you have to start your application today, you fear that you might pay £60 and not get into Cambridge would not be an obstacle towards moving with the application?
Yes, the fear will always be there, but you getting to conquer the fear first is what gives you better chances, because there are many people out there. As you said earlier, when you want to apply, focus on yourself. Don't put your mind on there are so many people wanting to get it. There are so many people that you think are better than you, but then feel as if those people are not there. In fact, it should even motivate you to work more on yourself and submit a very good application.